The chaos began 4 hours back. You snatched up your tactical AR fitted with the $700 sight and the aftermarket trigger. First clip, smooth operation. Second clip, the bolt refuses to lock back. Carbon residue. You're standing in the middle of a street and your high-accuracy rifle has stopped working because you didn't service it to military specifications. Across from you, your neighbor continues protecting his home. He's 70 years old. He's gripping a pump-action shotgun he purchased in 1983 for $200. It's been stored in his closet for 40 years. He hasn't cleaned it even once. Doesn't matter. Pump shotguns don't care. They function. And you're understanding that everything the firearms industry marketed to you was built to break exactly when you need it most. There are 7 firearms that don't break. 7 firearms that function when nothing else will. And they're all affordable. Not because they're lower quality. Because they fix the problem for good. Let's begin with the biggest falsehood the firearms industry has ever fed you. Every tactical shooter accepts it. The falsehood is this. Precise engineering means reliability. Tight specifications mean performance. Modern means superior. Incorrect. You got an AR-15 system. Perhaps you paid $1,200 on the base firearm. You believe you're finished. You're not. You're just beginning to pay. The firearm arrives with basic iron sights, but those aren't tactical enough, correct? So you purchase a red dot sight. That's $500 to $800. They all operate on batteries. Shelf life is 3 to 5 years. After that, they fail. Your $600 sight becomes a paperweight, but you're not finished. Factory trigger is rough, so you replace it. That's $200 to $300. You want a free float rail for precision. Another $250 to $400. Adjustable stock, improved grip. Another $250. You're now at $3,000 to $5,000 complete. Here's what the industry doesn't promote. That firearm was constructed to specifications measured in thousandths of an inch. 0.001 to 0.003 inches clearances between operating parts. That's precision. It's also weakness. Dust penetrates there. Mud, carbon residue. The gas mechanism on an AR is direct impingement. Every time you shoot, superheated gas forces back through a tube straight into the bolt carrier assembly. Carbon accumulates quickly. After 500 rounds of continuous fire, that bolt begins to slow. After 1,000 rounds without cleaning, you're experiencing malfunctions. The firearm suffocates on its own exhaust and those exclusive parts. Your bolt carrier assembly is machined to exact specifications for your barrel extension. You can't exchange in any bolt. Your gas tube length is particular to your barrel length. Carbine mid-length rifle. Incorrect tube. The firearm won't operate. If the maker goes bankrupt, if the supply chain collapses, you're holding a $4,000 paperweight. Every 5,000 rounds, you require a new bolt. Every 10,000 rounds, new gas tube. You require particular cleaning solutions, particular tools, armor-level expertise to service it correctly. If you can't obtain parts, the firearm stops functioning. You believe you purchased a survival firearm. You didn't. You purchased a membership to the firearms industry. The instant you can't continue that membership, you're defenseless. But there's a firearm created in 1947 that doesn't require any of this. It costs $700. And the firearms industry has invested 75 years persuading you it's inferior when it's actually indestructible. That firearm is the AK-47. And the firearms industry has invested 75 years persuading you it's inferior. Mikhail Kalashnikov created this rifle in 1947 with one objective: make it function when everything else breaks. His approach was unexpected. He made it loose. The specifications on an AK are 0.5 millimeters or more between operating parts. That's enormous compared to an AR. You can observe light between the bolt carrier and the receiver. You can hear it rattle when you shake it. And that's precisely why it never stops. Dust penetrates there. Doesn't matter. The clearances are so wide the dust simply falls through. Mud. The bolt still has space to operate. Carbon accumulation from shooting. The rifle doesn't even detect it. There's no precision surface for residue to seize up. The receiver is stamped steel, not milled aluminum. You can distort it, and it still operates. The gas mechanism is a long-stroke piston. Gas drives a piston. The piston drives a bolt carrier. No gas enters the receiver. No carbon contacts the bolt. The mechanism self-cleans through mechanical force. You can bury an AK in mud for 6 hours, extract it, and shoot it. You can freeze it solid in a block of ice, thaw it out in its cycles, drop it from a helicopter onto concrete. The receiver will distort. It'll still shoot. Submerge it in salt water for 3 days. Rinse it, and it's functional. There are AK-47s from the 1950s still in battle use in Africa and the Middle East. 60-year-old rifles that have survived multiple conflicts. Over 100 million AKs have been produced worldwide. Parts are abundant. The ammunition is 7.62 by 39 millimeters Soviet, accessible in enormous global reserves. You can purchase it for 30 to 40 cents per round. It's sufficient for any encounter from 0 to 300 yards. That addresses 95% of defensive situations. Now, the drawbacks. The trigger pull is heavy, 7 to 8 pounds, mushy. The precision is 4 to 6 MOA. That's combat sufficient, not precision. The iron sights are basic, but quick. None of that matters when the grid is offline. You can purchase an AK for $700. Add $300 for 1,000 rounds. That's $1,000 complete. No sights needed, no accessories necessary, no improvements possible. Purchase once, possess forever. The AK demonstrated something the industry doesn't want you to realize. Affordable doesn't mean inferior. It means independent. And there are 6 more firearms constructed on the same philosophy. The AK controls 0 to 300 yards. But what if you require more distance? What if the danger is 400 yards away and you can't reduce distance? You require another rifle. The industry wants to market you a $2,000 precision AR-10 with a $1,500 scope. But there are 2 firearms that accomplish the task for a fraction of the price, both older than your grandfather. Firearm number 2, the SKS Semenov carbine. Created in 1945 by Sergei Semenov, it shoots the same 7.62 by 39 millimeters as the AK. That means 1 ammunition variety for 2 rifles. Logistics just became easier. The SKS employs a fixed 10-round internal magazine loaded with stripper clips. No detachable magazines means no feeding breakdowns from broken mags. You can't misplace magazines because there are none to misplace. The gas mechanism is short-stroke piston, even more straightforward than the AK's long stroke. The barrel is 20.5 inches versus the AK-16. Longer barrel means improved precision, effective accurate shooting out to 400 yards. That's 100 yards beyond the AK. Chrome-lined barrel, corrosion resistant, good for 50,000 rounds. Weighs 8.5 pounds. Built-in folding bayonet for reserve. Price $400 to $550. Total parts 38. An AR has 65 plus. Fewer parts, fewer breakdowns. Firearm number 3, Mosin Nagant M91/30. Created in 1891. This rifle is 133 years old and still in service today. Bolt action, 5 operating parts total. Nothing to stop, no gas mechanism to clog. You manually cycle the action. This is mechanical permanence. The cartridge is 7.62 x54R, full power rifle round. Effective distance 500 to 800 yards with iron sights. Post-Soviet, reserves flooded the market. The ammunition is affordable and abundant. Price $200 to $350. Most affordable real rifle on this list. Weighs 8.8 pounds. Recoil is harsh, but it functions. This rifle operated in minus 40 degrees Russian winters for decades. You can bury it for 50 years. Dig it up, clean it, shoot it. The Finns utilized captured Mosin Nagants as sniper rifles during the Winter War. Eliminations past 800 meters were common. 3 rifles, 3 distance ranges. AK for 0 to 300 yards. SKS for 300 to 400, Mosin for 400 to 800. Total price $1,400. But rifles can't accomplish everything. In tight quarters, inside vehicles, clearing structures, you require something different. Urban fighting, vehicle protection, home clearing. Rifles are disadvantages in these situations. They're too extended. They catch on door frames. Inside a vehicle, you can't maneuver. You require something compact, quick, and devastating at close distance. Firearm number 4, the pump-action 12-gauge shotgun. Remington 870, Mossberg 500, Maverick 88. All essentially the same firearm with minor variations. All straightforward. All dependable. Why a shotgun belongs in your collection. Close quarter stopping power without excessive penetration. A rifle round pierces through interior walls and eliminates whoever's in the adjacent room. Buckshot doesn't. It halts the danger and transfers its energy in the target. That matters when you're protecting a structure with allies inside. Versatility. One platform shoots multiple ammunition varieties. Birdshot for small game hunting. Buckshot for defensive situations. Slugs for accurate single projectile shooting out to 100 yards. Breaching round for destroying door locks. One firearm. For different mission capabilities. Pump action is the most straightforward repeating system. No gas mechanism. No operating parts except what you manually control. You rack the slide, the shell chambers. Physics handles the rest. It functions with weak shells, damaged shells, even corroded shells. The firearm doesn't care. It's mechanical, not automatic. The Remington 870 is the most widespread shotgun in history. Over 12 million produced. Parts are abundant. Steel receiver, straightforward bolt lockup. 5 to 6 major components. That's it. Shotguns from the 1950s are still operational today. You're looking at a 70-year service life minimum. Price $250 to $400, depending on model and condition. Ammunition. 12-gauge is the most widespread shotgun shell worldwide. Every rural and suburban household in America has a box somewhere. It's accessible at every firearm store, every sporting goods shop, every Walmart. And if supply chains collapse, you can hand-load shotgun shells with basic reloading equipment. Press, powder, shot, wads. People have been doing it in garages for a century. Buckshot, 00 buck. 9 pellets per shell. Each pellet is .33 caliber, devastating from 0 to 25 yards. Forgiving aim because of spread pattern. The racking sound is universal. Everyone recognizes what it means. For firearms, complete long firearm capability. Shotgun for 0 to 50 yards. AK for 50 to 300. SKS for 300 to 400. Mosin for 400 to 800. Total price so far is approximately $1,900. But all 4 of these firearms are bulky. You can't hide them. You can't transport them while you're working, shopping, moving through populated areas. And in a breakdown, the firearm you have with you defeats the rifle secured in your safe. That's where the final 3 firearms come in. In a breakdown, the firearm you have with you defeats the rifle secured in your safe. You require something you can transport every day, concealed, ready, using ammunition you can actually locate. Firearm number 5, Glock 19, 9mm Luger. Most widespread handgun caliber in America. Police employ it, military employs it, civilians stockpile it. In a grid-down situation, 9mm is everywhere. Polymer frame, striker fired, no external safety. The system is straightforward. 34 parts total. A 1911 has 58. Fewer parts, fewer breakdowns. It'll consume any 9mm you feed it. Steel case, aluminum case, corroded surplus. Magazine capacity is 15 plus 1. You can obtain 33-round extended magazines. Price $500 to $600. Polymer doesn't rust, doesn't corrode, minimal service. This firearm operates 100,000 rounds before the frame cracks. Firearm number 6, .357 Magnum revolver. Ruger GP100 or Smith & Wesson 686. Mechanical permanence. 6 major operating parts. A semi-automatic pistol has 30 plus. No magazine to misplace. No feeding problems. Cylinder rotates. Hammer drops. Round shoots. .357 Magnum. Also chambers .38 Special. Ammunition flexibility. Full power .357 for stopping power. Lower recoil .38 for practice. One firearm, 2 calibers. Load this firearm and leave it for 50 years. Pick it up and shoot. First round discharges. No batteries, no magazines. Steel construction throughout. Price $600 to $750. Firearm number 7, Ruger 10 22. Chambered in .22 long rifle. Most produced ammunition in history. Rounds are tiny. Transport 1,000 in a small backpack. Semi-automatic. Blowback operated. Most straightforward self-loading system. Perfect for small game hunting. Rabbits, squirrels, birds. Protein when food chains collapse. Perfect for training. Low recoil. Anyone can shoot accurately. Price $250 to $350. Over 7 million produced. Parts abundant. 7 firearms. 7 capabilities. Shotgun for tight quarters. AK for general protection. SKS for medium distance. Mosin for long distance. Glock for everyday transport. Revolver for reserve. October 22nd for food. Total price $3,200 for all 7. Compare that to one high-end tactical AR with sights and accessories. That's $4,000 plus for one rifle. You now have complete capability. But you never observed this list recommended by firearm YouTubers, industry magazines, or dealer salespeople. That's not an accident. Here's what the firearm industry doesn't want you to grasp. Their business model isn't constructed on marketing you firearms. It's constructed on marketing you improvements, accessories, and replacements. The modern AR platform has a $2,000 plus aftermarket ecosystem. Red dot sights, magnified scopes, laser aiming modules, weapon lights, improved triggers, free float rails, adjustable stocks, aftermarket grips, sling mounts, bipods. Every AR owner invests more on accessories than they did on the base rifle. These 7 firearms have almost zero aftermarket potential. The AK accepts standard wood or polymer furniture. No exclusive rail systems. The shotgun has no meaningful improvements. You can't enhance a pump action. Revolvers can't be altered. The Glock functions perfectly stock. The 10 22 is too affordable to matter. SKS and Mosin are what they are. No accessories means no recurring income, and there's planned deterioration. Modern striker-fired pistols are created for a 50,000 round lifespan. Then the frame cracks, and you purchase another firearm. AR platforms require bolt replacements every 10,000 to 15,000 rounds. Gas tubes wear out. Barrels lose precision. These 7 firearms last 100 plus years with basic service. You're a one-time customer. Then you're finished. You've departed the market permanently. The industry labels the AK crude. They mean indestructible. They label the Mosin outdated. They mean it's been functioning for 133 years. They label revolvers obsolete. They mean mechanically immortal. They label pumped shotguns grandpa firearms. They mean your grandpa was wiser than you. All of these firearms are still functioning a century later, while tactical firearms from 2010 are already in landfills. The industry wants you leasing capability through constant improvements. These firearms make you possess it. And a customer who possesses a permanent solution is a customer they lose forever. This is the same pattern everywhere. When technology fixes problems permanently, it gets hidden. Step back. Look at what we just examined. 7 firearms. All affordable, all durable, all intentionally kept out of mainstream recommendations. This is the same pattern across every industry. Electronics are created to be unrepairable. Exclusive screws, glued components, software locks, planned 3 to 5 year deterioration. Appliances used to be metal. Now they're plastic parts created to break. Automobiles are computers on wheels. The mechanical parts last forever. The sensors and electronics break and cost thousands to replace. Software went from ownership to membership. You don't purchase programs anymore. You lease access. The pattern is consistent. 3 characteristics of hidden technology. It's mechanically straightforward. No supply chains needed. It's constructed from durable materials. Outlasts any planned lifespan. It has no improvement path. One purchase fixes a problem forever. These 7 firearms have all 3 traits. This isn't conspiracy. It's profit incentive. An economy constructed on consumption needs customers who keep consuming. A customer who fixes their problem permanently is a customer lost. Complexity creates reliance. Simplicity creates independence. The firearm industry specifically can't prohibit these firearms. They're legal, they're established, so they suppress them through silence. No television advertisements for Mosin Nagant. No sponsored YouTube evaluations of SKS rifles. No dealer incentives to stock affordable imports. The sales floor pushes what generates profit. New tactical platforms with accessory potential. Not century-old designs that function forever. Walk into any firearm store. The employee guides you toward the AR wall. Modular, customizable, upgradable. They don't mention the AK in the back corner. They don't discuss the pumped shotgun that's been identical since 1950. Those firearms don't generate commission. The average purchaser never hears about these 7 firearms. They purchase what's advertised, what's reviewed, what's pushed. And all of that is controlled by companies that require you purchasing again in 5 years. So what do you do with this information? You can purchase all 7 of these firearms right now. None are illegal. None are restricted. They're accessible while supply chains still operate. Here's how to prioritize. Phase 1, core protection. AK-47 and Glock 19. That's $1,300 for both. Add 1,000 rounds of 7.62 by 39 and 1,000 rounds of 9mm. Another $500. Total $1,800. You now have a rifle and pistol that function in any condition. Phase 2, versatility. Pump shotgun and Ruger 10-20 seconds. That's $600 for both. Add 500 rounds of 12 gauge and .22 LR. Another $150. You're at $2,550. You now have tight quarters capability and small game hunting. Phase 3, complete capability. SKS, Mosin Nagant, .357 revolver. That's $1,500. Add 500 rounds each. Another $600. Final total $4,650. Less than 1 high-end AR with accessories. You have 7 firearms covering every situation. Don't wait for breakdown. Supply chains collapse quickly. Purchase firearms first, ammunition second. Store it dry. Share this knowledge. What other firearms belong on this list? Every person who exits the tactical gear trap is one less customer feeding planned deterioration. These firearms don't require corporations to operate. No memberships, no updates, no customer support, no exclusive parts. They function because physics functions. Physics doesn't care about quarterly earnings. True independence can't be purchased from companies' marketing reliance. You're not hoarding. You're constructing permanent capability. Reliability doesn't need sponsorships. Simplicity doesn't require marketing. And a rifle that lasts a century doesn't require permission to outlive the system that tried to hide it.